Hello. This video will talk about the ninth house. We have discussed houses 1 through 8 in our previous video, and this is the ninth house in our series. So what is the ninth house? Well, the ninth house is called the Dharma Bhava, which is the house of religion. Dharma means religion. So you can determine by looking at the ninth house of a person, you can determine a lot about his approach, that individual's approach to religion, spirituality, and values, ethics, a lot, because it's about dharma or religion. Or, well, if you look at it in a broader perspective, it is morals and ethics as well, doing good actions as well. So it is definitely associated with dharma. And now you're going to ask me why dharma, because if you look, the ninth house is actually ruled by Jupiter. The Jupiter is the natural ruler of the ninth house, because the natural zodiac sign of the ninth house is Pisces, and we know that Jupiter is associated with religion, spirituality. He is the guru. So a lot of times we can look at the ninth house and see the individual's relationship with his guru. What kind of a guru will that person have? What kind of a relationship will he have with his guru? What is his interest as far as acquiring higher knowledge from his guru is concerned? What kind of knowledge will he acquire through his guru? So the ninth house also is associated with higher learning. So in today's day and age, in the modern day and age, we will look at a person's professional education, where he acquires higher learning through the ninth house. The fourth house talks about the basic education of the individual. However, the ninth house is about higher education, because that's when he interacts with his higher teachers, the teachers which provide him with higher learning. Now the ninth house is also called a Bhagyasthana, which is, Bhagya means luck. Bhagya is a Sanskrit word for luck. So a person's good luck is also looked at through the ninth house. And we have to see as to what planets are sitting in the ninth house. Are they benefic or are they malefic? How are those planets going to affect that person's luck in general? So first we discussed it is a house of dharma, which is religion, house of higher learning, which talks about also his relationship with his gurus, his teachers, what kind of a guru he has, and then also it is associated with luck, because it's a Bhagyasthana as well. So like I said, look at what planets are occupying the ninth house, and they will give a lot of insight into what will the luck of that person be, and also the timing of the luck. There's something called Bhagya Uday, means rise of fortune. So through the planets, and if you look at the dashas and your periods which come in your life through the Vimshottari Dasha, and we are going to discuss that in detail in other videos, what is Vimshottari Dasha. So if you look at the dashas and the planets associated, the timing of your rise of luck or your rise of fortune, which just like I said, it's called Bhagya Uday, rise of luck. Bhagya means luck and Uday means rise. So we can determine the timing as well. Also, we have to look at what planet is ruling the ninth house. Is it a benefic planet or is it a malefic planet? Generally, the ruler of the ninth house becomes a natural benefic. I'm sorry, not a natural, but a functional benefic. Because the ninth house is an extremely auspicious house as per Parashara principles, because it's a Trikona house or a trine house. So we have to see what planet rules it and what the placement of the planet. Of course, the placement of the planet is going to determine and talk about how lucky that person will be, what would be the timing of his rise of luck, what kind of teaching will he acquire, higher learning, what kind of teachers rather he will acquire and higher learning, and his professional education, what kind of a guru he'll have, what relationship he'll have with his gurus. So the ruler and its placement also, along with the planet which is placed in the ninth house, both are extremely important for this very important ninth house, which is the dharma bhava or a bhagyasthana. And like I said, it's extremely auspicious house because it's one of the trine houses or the trikona. Now, spirituality we already discussed. So related to spirituality with the ninth house, there is also a relationship with long travels, which will be related to his spiritual pursuits. So what will come under it? Pilgrimages. Yes. So, a lot of people look at, whether this person will be undertaking pilgrimages and what will be the timing of those pilgrimages. And of course, the timings will come to what dasha or what period as per the Vimshottari dasha you're running. And you can determine as to what would be the timing of those pilgrimages. Some people have a desire, for example, if he's a Hindu, he may want to visit, just for example, a great Vishnu temple or a great Shiva Jyotirlinga, and that stays as his desire. And the ninth house is going to tell us a lot about whether he'll be able to undertake his desire as far as his religious journeys and pilgrimages are concerned, and what will be the timing based on what dashas he's running. So when we start doing chart readings and Vedic chart analysis, we can determine a lot about his pilgrimages and his travel related to his spiritual pursuits are concerned. Now, the ninth house also is associated with the father. And Parashara, the great sage Parashara, has very clearly mentioned that the ninth house has a direct relationship with father. However, certain astrologers do not agree. They believe that the 10th house is more associated with father, but sage Parashara has very clearly mentioned that the ninth house, and the other astrologers argue that since the 10th house is seventh from the fourth house, and we know that the fourth house represents mother, 10th house for the father makes more sense just because it's right opposite to the fourth house, which is the seventh from the ninth. So the father has to be looked from the 10th house. But no, sage Parashara very clearly has mentioned ninth house, direct relationship with the father. And you'll see how these teachings by the sages make a lot of sense if you start doing readings and start looking at those charts in your day-to-day life. When you come across people, ninth house will make much more sense as far as father is concerned. So sage Parashara has also mentioned certain combinations related to the ninth house, and he has mentioned those which have been compiled under Brihat Parashara Hora Shastra, which we have been discussing in our previous videos as well. So he's very clear about fortune, which is luck, which is Bhagyasthana, related to the ninth house. And he says that one will be very, very affluent if the ninth lord is in the ninth. So that's one combination we have to remember, that one will be fortunate and also affluent if the ninth lord is sitting in the ninth house with strength. So what do we mean by strength is, well, as far as the degrees are concerned, it should not be weak in degrees. That is one way. And also the other ways of determining the strength of the planet, we'll have a video on that. There is a Shadbal and there are other ways to look at the strength. But as a general rule, what he says is that if the ninth lord is sitting in the ninth with strength, the person will be very fortunate and also affluent. Now, he also says that in case Jupiter be in the ninth house and the ninth house lord is in an angle house, which is 1, 4, 7 and 10, and the ascendant lord, which is the Lagna lord, is powerful, one will be extremely fortunate. So three conditions here: one, Jupiter sitting in the ninth house; second, ninth house sitting in an angle house or a Kendra house; and the ascendant of that chart should be powerful. One will be extremely fortunate. So he has added extremely here, that yes, one will be very, very lucky. Now, as far as his talk or his teaching about the ninth house related to the father is concerned, here is one combination. He says if the ninth lord is powerful and Venus is sitting in the ninth house and Jupiter is sitting in an angle house, the person's father will be very affluent. Again, I'll repeat. The ninth house should be powerful. Venus should be sitting in the ninth house, and Jupiter should be sitting in an angle or a Kendra house. So these three combinations will make that person's father, or you can look at his father through his chart, that yes, this person has an affluent and a very lucky father. So definitely Venus and Jupiter both are also involved in this particular combination. So these are little combinations we have to remember when we do our chart readings, and these will help us a lot. A lot of astrologers do chart readings based on their whims and imaginations, and they do not do their homework. They don't go to the Brihat Parashara Hora Shastras or any other Shastras or Gemini Sutras or whatever. They don't go to the basics, which is the teachings which are coming directly from the sages. And that's when their readings are not as accurate as they should be. So we have to remember that these combinations are extremely important. We have to look at these combinations through these, what the sages have taught us, and then apply it on our day-to-day readings. Now, he also describes another combination, that in case the ninth lord is debilitated and the second from the ninth or the fourth from the ninth is occupied by Mars, the person's father is poor. So you can look at a chart and see if there's a combination where the ninth house lord is debilitated and the second or the fourth from the ninth is occupied by Mars. He says through this chart you can figure out that the person's father is poor. See, it's a very interesting combination. He's relating again, if we see, ninth lord to the father. So there's a direct connection between father and the ninth house. So he says the ninth house has to be debilitated and the second or the fourth from the ninth is occupied by Mars. And why is he saying that? Because the second house is the house of wealth, and the fourth house is a house of real estate. So he's saying that the ninth lord, first of all, it has to be debilitated, and the second from the ninth house, or the fourth from the ninth house, which is represented by wealth through the second house, or real estate through the fourth house, and Mars is sitting there, which means Mars is a destroyer. We know that it is destroying it. The native's father will be poor. So very interesting combination. So what we do is we look at the ninth house, and that'll talk a lot about a person's father. Long living father is also one of the combinations which sage Parashara has explained in his teachings, which have been compiled in Brihat Parashara Hora Shastra. For a combination of a long living father, he says that in case the ninth house lord is exalted and Venus is sitting in an angle house or a Kendra house, and Jupiter is sitting in the ninth house in the D9 chart. D9 is the Navansha chart, and we'll discuss about Navansha charts also in our other videos in case people do not know what Navansha is. It's a divisional chart which we'll discuss in detail. But here is the combination what Sage Parashara has given for a very long living father. He says the ninth lord has to be exalted, Venus has to be sitting in a Kendra or an angle house, and Jupiter is ninth in the Navansha chart. Then he will have a long living father. So we have to look out for these combinations. If we ever come across a chart with these combinations, the long life of the father is promised. Another combination which Sage Parashara has associated with the ninth house related to the father is that if the ninth lord is sitting in an angle and aspecting Jupiter, the father will have royal status. Ninth house lord should be sitting in an angle or a Kendra house and should be aspecting Jupiter. And why Jupiter? Say, because Jupiter is a natural ruler of the ninth house. So again and again he's combining the ninth house lord and the Jupiter as well, because Jupiter rules the ninth house as a natural lord through its zodiac sign of Sagittarius. Another combination which Sage Parashara has mentioned about a famous father. He says, well, if the lord of the ninth house be sitting in the 10th, and the 10th lord is aspected by a benefic planet. So he says that in this combination, the person's father will be famous along with being rich. Now, why did fame come here in this combination? Well, it's very simple, because the 10th house is about fame, and we don't have a video right now on the 10th house. We'll discuss the 10th house in our next video, but you will see 10th house is very closely associated with fame. So he says the lord of the ninth, which he's very clearly associating again with father, very unlike other astrologers who do not associate ninth house with father, they associate 10th house with father. But Sage Parashara is very clear on this. He says ninth house, direct relationship with father. So he says if the lord of the ninth, which is the father, be sitting in the 10th, and the 10th lord should be aspected by a benefic planet, then the fathers of that individual is promised to be rich and famous as well. Why famous again? Because there's an association of the 10th house. So these are various combinations which Sage Parashara has mentioned, and we have to look out for these. And there are hundreds of other combinations which the various sages, not only Parashara, but sages like Gemini or any other sage, Gautam, Atri have mentioned, and it's not possible to discuss all those in this video, but the purpose of this video is to make us understand that how these combinations given to us by these sages are so important. Another combination is that there will be enmity between father and that individual if the ascendant lord is sitting in the ninth, but the lord of the sixth is also sitting in the ninth with the ascendant lord. So why sixth? Because we know that sixth is about enemies. So that person will become inimical to his father when the combination is, if that in that chart we see that the ascendant lord is sitting in the ninth, and ninth house we know is the house of the father, and also the lord of the sixth is also sitting in the ninth. So both are together. Well, there will be enmity, or a person will be inimical to the father. So these, like I said, are various combinations, and it's not possible to discuss all the combinations in one video, but we will discuss about another house in our next video. Hope you enjoyed this. Thank you.